It's been 12 consecutive weeks, ending with Carey victories to get the third-seeded Blue Devils back to the regional championship for the second time in 3 years. Their opponent, perennial postseason contender Liberty Center, riding an 8-game win streak fresh off an upset win over #1 Archbald for a spot in the Region 22 final. It's live and free Division 6 playoff championship football streaming right into the palm of your hands on smartphones, tablets, TVs, and PCs. And it's all coming your way. Next.
whiskers on kittens, bright yellow Lay's bags and noses frostbitten, snack table spread that is fit for a king. These are a few of my favorite things. Bags of Tostitos with salsa and queso, Lay's and Doritos if I have my say-so, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. When the lights glow, but the fuse blows, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, warm fuzzy feelings and cards all handwritten, this smart food popcorn all tied up with strings. These are a few of my favorite things. Music with sleigh bells and gifts incognito, play Secret Santa with family and Cheetos, wild geese that fly with the moon on their wings. These are a few of my favorite things. When the guests leave and the fam's gone, when I'm feeling sad, I simply remember my favorite things, and then I don't feel so bad.
Man, what should I listen to on the OH Report today?
Dude, listen to the Friday Night Pigskin. You got highlights and scores from all around the area.
The OH Report podcast has more than just football.
No, listen to the Pigskin. The Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin. Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin.
Why not
Podcast.
both?
Pigskin.
Podcast. Podcast.
Dude, clean your ears out, man.
Bro, there's so much space in here.
Back to the right, now back to the left. He runs over a Crestview defender and gets into the end zone. Rumbling and stumbling, steps over the Cougars. Uh-oh, runs away, hands it off to Carmen, the senior up the middle, and he's in.
The Carey Blue Devils and Liberty Center put their combined 20-game win streaks on the line for the right to move on to the state Final Four as our live and free coverage of the Division VI Region 22 Championship begins right now. Good evening, folks, and welcome to Bowling Green High School for the Hair-itage House Salon pregame alongside Lynn Passett. My name is Brian Skoronsky, and Lynn, we have got lots of momentum making their way into the stadium tonight. Carey hasn't lost since week 1, facing a Tigers team winners of 8 straight.
Both of these two teams are very, very rich in playoff history. So I really think this is going to be a fantastic matchup tonight. As you mentioned, both teams have a lot of wins under their belt. The Tigers of Liberty Center, 8 in a row coming in. Carey, 12 in a row coming in. You can't ask for anything more.
Yeah, both of these teams have been sizzling hot, in particularly here in the postseason. And Carey, flat out huge up front. I mean, they got some guys that definitely do not look like they should be in high school, Lynn. And when you look into their backfield, too, it's the same exact case. Jordan Vallejo, one of the biggest running backs I think I have ever seen. He's a 270-pounder, and boy, does he pound the rock.
He is a human bowling ball, but with speed.
Yeah.
He can not only bowl you over, but he can get to the outside and turn on the jets. As you can see from his stats, he is a big boy with a lot of yardage coming in. And one thing the Liberty Center Tigers are going to have to be leery of is making sure they hit him high and low, because otherwise he'll just bounce right off of you.
He certainly is like a human bowling ball. Anytime that he gets the rock, you see him going up the middle, moving the pile all by himself. Doesn't matter how many defenders jump on his back. Jordan Vallejo, such a load to take down. But the Carey offense has been more than just him. Quarterback Derek Lonsway having a great senior season as well. 18 total touchdowns for the senior QB. And he mixes things up. He doesn't go through the air a ton, but he's pretty efficient when he has to.
He is very efficient. He's 6 foot tall. He's 180 pounds. As you said, he's a senior. And when he does go to the air, he is efficient. He's 68 out of 143, just under 50% completions. But he does have 8 touchdowns in the air and over 1,000 yards passing. That might be one of the keys to this game tonight, is which team can throw the ball, because both teams love to run it so much.
And I believe Lonsway is a 3-year starter, so he brings a lot of veteran leadership, played in a ton of playoff games over the last few seasons, getting back here to the regional final for the second time in 3 years. So the Blue Devils certainly no stranger to the big stage. And it's their defense also, Lynn. They're allowing under 9 points per game this season. In total, the Tigers also have been stout defensively, holding their opponents under 14 a game during their win streak. Offensively, solid ground game too, headlined by TJ Moore, averaging better than 7 yards per rush.
Well, you talked about the defenses, and when I looked over this Carey defense, 6 shutouts really jumped off the page at me, and all of those came in the regular season. So 6 out of their 10 games were shutouts. They only give up 49 yards a game on the ground and only 115 in the air. So this is really a staunch defense that Liberty Center is going to be attacking tonight.
Yeah, we'll see if TJ Moore, the senior, is able to break free, get some space, take it to the outside. The Tigers do have 2,000-yard rushers on the season, just like the Blue Devils do. So in some ways, they kind of mirror each other in terms of their offense. And we had an opportunity to catch up with their head coach, Casey Muller of the Tigers. He spoke with our Travis Berardi just a couple of minutes ago about this big contest tonight and basically what it's going to take to get the win, having to go against a team like Carey with the likes of Jordan Vallejo and what that man brings to the table. And make no mistake about it, that is a man trapped in a high schooler's body, 270 pounds at 6'1". Let's take a listen.
All right, Coach. Carey, they offer a dual-threat quarterback and a big running back and seem to run over his opponents throughout the playoffs. What do you guys need to do to slow down that run game?
Well, we got to make sure that our defense is running to the football, and we got multiple guys trying to bring the big guy down. He's going to be tough to bring down one-on-one, so we got to get a lot of guys there. And we got to contain the quarterback and play good assignment football and make sure that we don't get nosy on defense and start sticking our nose inside and letting him bounce it.
You guys scored a lot of points last week to pull off the upset to get here. What do you need to do offensively tonight to possibly move on?
Well, we got to execute our offense and sustain our blocks and just play 4 to 6 seconds on every play and trust each other.
All right, good luck tonight, Coach.
Thank you.
Back up to you guys.
I appreciate the time. And how about the Blue Devils making their way out onto the field? Tigers just right behind them. There's always some type of mystique in these big games, these regional championships, when the teams make their way out. You get the stare down, maybe. You're trying to get into your own zone, Lynn. This is one of my favorite parts of the contest. And, of course, the fans, they go gaga when these guys run out onto the playing surface.
They absolutely do. Both teams have a fantastic following of the orange and black from Liberty Center and the blue and white from Carey. Here come the Blue Devils onto the field now, and this is an exciting time as a high school football player. You're trying to get to the Final Four, and you know that there's one team standing between you and that punching of the ticket.
Liberty Center, such a long, rich tradition of postseason excellence. I believe this is their 22nd time competing in the OHSAA state playoffs. Carey starting to build a nice tradition here as of late, their 5th consecutive trip into the postseason, waiting for their time to come out here. And as we await the Blue Devils, let's take a look at the keys to the game presented by Hair-itage House Salon. We'll begin with Carey, and for me, look no further than basically just their colors. I'm going with black and blue tonight, Lynn, because I think they just need to beat up their opponent. This is a team that is huge up front. They've got some very physical athletes that throughout the season have been able to dominate at times. So for me, I feel like they just need to continue that, bruise up the opponents a bit.
Well, it starts with their running game, and it also continues with their punishing defense. So both the offense and defense love to punish the opponent. And we talk about the defense. They have to keep it up. The defense is very important in this contest when you're giving up very few yards on the ground, which is where Liberty Center is going to try and make hay tonight. Something is going to have to give, and it better not be the Carey defense.
Blue Devils have made their way out onto the field, jumping around. They're ready for action. We'll see if they can complete some of those keys, get some victories. And for the Tigers, dive into their keys to success tonight. I think they need to open up the cage, let it loose offensively. You got to take some chances against a defense like Carey that can just beat you up in the middle. You're not probably going to be able to move them off the line of scrimmage consistently throughout the night. There's just too much size, too many pounds of man out there. So I think they got to take some chances, try to go deep at times.
And the second key is committing to the hit. We talked about this earlier. When you're trying to tackle someone the size of Jordan Vallejo, you better be hitting him high, you better be hitting him low, and you better be hitting him often.
So that is your Hair-itage House Salon pregame, and want to thank all of our sponsors helping us bring you live and free coverage tonight, including KASAI Auto Manufacturer. They are now hiring. Apply at kasai.applicantpro.com. Burson Bakies Insurance, located in the heart of Carey at 105 West Finley Street. Triple C Electrical and Construction, who wants to thank Marine Jordan Dasher for his service and wants to say what's up to everyone who is watching out at Kistner Marine Base in Okinawa. So might have some fans watching all the way over in Japan tonight, Lynn. Pretty sweet.
Always a pleasure when you can use the World Wide Web to actually do the World Wide Web, so everyone can watch this thing tonight live.
And here in Bowling Green, clear skies on hand. It's pretty perfect weather for some high school football. Very limited wind. It's not that cold for being mid-November here in the Buckeye State. So I think both of these teams real happy with what they've got in terms of Mother Nature cooperating tonight.
And our camera guys, who sometimes are facing inclement weather, such as rain or even snow, or at least frigid temperatures this time of the year, I'm sure they're not complaining about being out in the elements tonight as well.
Those for us being Storm Blunchley and Hayden Gray. Love both of those guys for braving it for us outside. Got their coats on. Some gloves, too, as everybody here in the stands does. Playoff football weather definitely on hand here tonight as the Blue Devils about to tee it up and kick it away.
Well, we're waiting on the scoreboard. They finally got it set at 12 minutes. They were having a hard time getting the time adjusted. That's what we were waiting on here. So now the Blue Devils are set to kick things off.
Anthony Bell has it teed up. And the senior will kick it deep. We are underway
Amstutz has it.
And tackled in the open field, Alexander Putnam coming up to lay the lick. So we'll meet the Tigers offense coming out for the first time tonight, led by Zane Zider, the quarterback, having a phenomenal year. Talked about Orr, a little bit over 1,000 yards. TJ Moore as well. So two backs that went over the century 1,000-yard mark actually this year. We'll see if they're able to get it out wide too to some of their receivers like Foster and Chappa.
Double-headed monster of Orr and Moore.
On first down, breaking the pocket, Zider initially had some space, but then the Blue Devils come up, gang tackle him. Meet the defense now for Carey. Such a great defensive unit that they've had all year long. We talked about how dominant they have been, Lynn, holding their opponents to just 8.9 points per game.
And Landon Kemmerly is the leading tackler on this team, 135 tackles, second in the Northern 10, and he's only a junior.
Pitch and catch is complete here. Evan Conrad with the reception. And that's going to be a KASAI first down. Out near midfield, and this is a nice start here for this Liberty Center offense. Few teams have been able to get much offense going early on in games.
Nice completion for 14 yards and a first down near midfield.
Flag fly is going to blow the play dead before it has a chance to stop. And our first penalty going to go against the Tigers. They'll back up 5 yards for the false start.
And that's going to be another big key tonight, is which team is going to play flagless football. This time of year, you usually see teams that are very well disciplined. They're not going to make a lot of mistakes that are going to shoot themselves in the foot. But at the same time, nerves can start to play a little bit of a role in a game like this as well.
1st and 15 now. Just a one receiver set, loaded backfield. They'll run it straight ahead. Blue Devils were waiting on it, setting the edge, and then getting in the gaps quickly.
I'll tell you what, that Blue Devil defense was set for that one, and E.J. Bowes was in there quickly for the Blue Devils.
Another look at the big play that got him out here near midfield, the catch by Conrad. Carey defense got him backed up, 2nd down and long. 2 minutes gone by here. They'll run it again, left side, bigger hole this time. Running through a couple of would-be tacklers. TJ Moore off to the races down the far sideline before he's finally tore down at the 12.
Boy, what a nice cutback by T.J. Moore as he looked like he was in trouble and then all of a sudden gave a shake and bake move, and he was off to the races all the way down inside the 15-yard line.
Run of over 40 yards there. And it's got the Tigers knocking on the doorstep. Their first trip into the red zone tonight on the opening possession of the game.
Second first down of this opening drive as well, and T.J. Moore is, in one carry, got nearly what Carey gives up in an entire game in rushing.
Wow. 2 back set this time. No space available. Nathan Broadman came up, made the first contact.
Nice job that time by the Blue Devils as they're holding their gap defense, and they did a nice job of stunting a little bit to the same side that that ball went to, and T.J. Moore had nowhere to go that time. I have not seen a team huddle as far away from the football as Liberty Center. They go almost 15 yards back from the ball. They have a long march back to the line of scrimmage.
Well, 2020 and the social distancing and everything, they're just trying to incorporate, stay safe out here. As we got a good fake. And here's Zider. He's going to burst into the end zone. Tigers strike first.
12-yard touchdown run by Zane Zider. He had the bootleg wide open, and Carey had no one out there to contain him.
Liberty Center putting together successful scoring drive to kick things off. Another look at the fake. Moore was swallowed up on the inside. Only problem was he didn't have the football. Zyder with a clean fake. He's got the speed, caught the edge, and it's a KASAI touchdown. The PAT is up and is through from Carly Roth, as we will take a quick touchdown timeout with a special message from KASAI. So what a start here for Liberty Center. Marching down the field, you talked about all the shutouts that the Devils have been able to pitch this year. 4 in the regular season, 2 to open up the postseason against Van Buren and Sonora. So we didn't necessarily expect early offense to start quite like the Tigers just hit them with.
I'll tell you what, though, if either of these two teams is more prepared because of the competition that they played all season long, it's going to be Liberty Center. They play in the NWOAL, which is a very, very difficult league. A lot of schools that are much bigger than them, so they really are battle-tested throughout the regular season.
Roth kicks it away. From his own 10-yard line comes Anthony Bell. Looking for some room. He'll squirt through. Bell still on his feet. Gets by the kicker and then knocked down, but not until he gets into enemy territory. Fabulous starting field position for Carey to kick things off.
I'll tell you what, he got a couple of fabulous blocks thrown for him. And number 14, Connor Norden, had one of them late around the 50-yard line that got him an extra 10 yards there at the very end.
First down for the Blue Devils, just 40 yards away from answering the opening touchdown drive for the Tigers. Still send a man in motion. It's Bryce Conti. Lonsway going to keep it, and nobody home on the outside. He's going to coast into the end zone. Carey answers. Fireworks on their opening play.
Lonsway just keeps it and has the speed, and there was no one on the outside for Liberty Center. It was a complete breakdown defensively, as I think the corner on the near side bit on thinking the ball was going to be going right up the gut to Jordan Vallejo.
Kind of deja vu of what we saw on the previous touchdown run. Just an excellent fake by the quarterback. Look at the blocking. Everybody confused at the linebacker position.
And one of those defenders, Cameron Foster, actually went and tackled who he thought had the football, Jordan Vallejo. So that is why the cornerback on this side was nowhere to be found.
The PAT is up and through, so we'll take another touchdown timeout with a special message from KASAI. So we talked about the momentum that got both of these teams into tonight. Both of them kind of carried by their defenses during this 8-game win streak. Liberty Center giving up under 2 scores per contest. Man, what a fake, and you see the confusion there by Foster, as you mentioned. And then Carey, during the year, maybe the best defensive team in all of Division 6, but APV's out for both of these defenses on the opening drive. Where are they at?
Yeah, we saw TJ Moore rip off 43 yards on a run to set up their opening touchdown, and now we saw Derek Lonsway run 40 yards for the Blue Devils. We're tied at 7. Nice kick.
It's going to be taken inside the 5-yard line. Long on the return. Pushed out of bounds here on the near side. And the second drive of the night for the Tigers.
I don't think the fans are going to have to worry about staying warm. They're going to be up and cheering a lot tonight from what we're seeing early on.
And speaking of fans, want to say what's up to everybody out there watching in Facebook and YouTube land. And go ahead, drop us a comment. Always love to know, where are you watching from? Who are you cheering on here tonight? Leave us a message. You could end up on our fan zone, which will be debuting here in just a little bit. The pressure, gonna burst the pipes here. Big blitz by Ashton Claus. Gets to the QB.
Boy, I'll tell you what, he came like a rocket right up the gut, and he was all over the quarterback Zyder before he even had a chance to turn around.
Excellent blitz there. Actually, I think it was Nathan Broadman was able to get to the quarterback. For this Carey defense, they don't have to blitz often. Can typically get some pressure by just sending 3 or 4. So when they do, boy, look out. Keep it on the ground here on second down.
Nowhere to go that time. The Blue Devil defense was up to the task. Number 44, Cooper Broadman, in there quickly to make the tackle for Carey.
Moore trying to find a seam. Ran right into Drew Steen and company. And the Blue Devils got him backed up. It's going to be 3rd down long.
Yeah, this isn't where an offensive coordinator wants to be, because there's not too many plays that are going to get you 16, 17 yards on 3rd down when the defense can now start to backtrack a little bit, play a nickel defense, and it's really hard to pick up that kind of yardage.
Going to move the pocket here near side. Zyder scrambling. He's got some space. Gets to the second level. He actually dishes out a blow.
Boy, he did. Most quarterbacks are not going to lower a shoulder and lower the boom, but Zyder did exactly that, but he's going to come up about 5 yards short of the first down.
Bryce Conti, All-Ohio defensive back, took the brunt of that collision. As I see here, we've got some comments rolling in. Chris watching from Finlay, cheering on the Blue Devils. So is Jackie Brown from Upper Sandusky. As the punt is in the air, it's going to take a hop right about the 30-yard line. Actually might have hit Colton Cruz in the back, and it lays to rest at the 30. So their drive was so quick, we never got to meet the starters for the Blue Devils. Here is the offense, led by Lonsway and Vallejo, but give so much credit to this offensive front. These are some big boys up there when you look at the rights, the likes of Cordry, Claus, Bouchon, Paul, and Ferguson. I mean, those guys definitely don't miss too many meals.
No, they don't. And the one thing that I notice immediately is their stances are very, very tight, so they are not giving much room between their blockers.
Jordan Vallejo off the toss picks up 6 yards into the teeth of the Tigers defense.
Oddly enough, that's his first carry of the ball game, because we saw them score in one play on their first offensive series.
Say what's up to Tiffany watching from Walkertown, North Carolina. Milton, Florida is where Vicky is watching from. And then Kelly in Tiffin, Ohio. So well represented with viewership all over the country right now. As Lonsway goes play action here, 2nd down, breaks the pocket, tucks and runs. And he's going to move the chains with a KASAI 1st down.
Well, he wanted to try and throw an out pattern, but it was well covered by Liberty Center. And coming up to make the tackle for the Tigers was number 5, Trenton Cruz.
See, we got an LC Tigers fan, Pat, from Wauseon. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. Live and free here on the OH Report. Jump cut made here on 2nd down. The run to the right side by Rickle.
Just when you start to lay yourself on Vallejo, then they'll throw Lance Rickle at you, and he's no slouch either. He averages 11 yards a carry up to this point, 52 yards a game, but as you can see, he's a dangerous dude. He got 7 on, or we'll call it 6 on his first carry.
3 back set here. They give it to the up man. The bruiser laying his shoulder down and knocking some kids backwards. Isaac Carmen with some tough running.
Gain of 8 on that play. So the Blue Devils right now are seeing something, and that is we can run the football against this Tiger defense.
And let's meet the Tiger defense. As it's another nice run play on first down.
Vallejo gets 11, so he's carried twice for 17 yards. And I'll tell you what, as advertised, he runs very low to the ground. He's almost like a fire plug, a fire hydrant. He is really low to the ground, and it makes him even tougher to bring down because he's so stalky and so big.
It's another KASAI first down for the Blue Devils. Keeping the engine revving here with the run game. So they bring a man in motion. It's Rickle. Lonsway keeps it.
And
boy,
he's got another 10.
Yeah,
Carey is really ripping off the yardage in big chunks right now.
And look at the offensive line just winning at the point of attack. A hat on a hat. Big holes. Guys bursting through there. Lonsway didn't even get touched until after he had 8.
If you really look defensively, Liberty Center's linebackers are really, really close to the line of scrimmage. So if they're able to move the initial blocker and then just chip those linebackers, that's why they're getting so much yardage on these carries right now.
Got a flag on the play, false start against the Devils. Tonight's high school playoff football broadcast brought to you live and free on the OH Report. Thanks to our generous sponsors, Danner's Towing and Recycling. Big or small, they tow them all with 24-hour service from their 2 locations in Sycamore and Upper Sandusky. Houk Hardware, Carey's do-it-best hometown hardware store located at 100 East Finlay Street. Hair-itage House Salon, providing friendly, personalized beauty and tanning services with a sparkling 5-star rating on Facebook. Follow them by clicking the link in the live stream description below. Vallejo straight ahead. Seagap keeps his feet, the big fella, showing that he's got some nice feet underneath him too, keeping his balance and picking up about 5 extra yards.
Well, and the one thing that really stuck out to me, had 184 carries during the season so far and not one fumble. So he not only does a great job of picking up yardage in chunks, but he does not lose the cookie. And he got 14 on that carry.
And another KASAI first down. The chain gang on the move yet again. So was Vallejo. Left side this time. More big gaps. And he's able to fill it for about another 6-yard pickup.
And they seem to like that left side of the offensive line right now. That's where they're making hay, even though the quarterback Lonsway ran for 40 around the right side on that initial drive. Now they seem to be liking the left side.
Dotting the I this time is Rickle. He takes the handoff, doesn't go too far. Pickup of a couple here on second down. Nice swarming defense by the Tigers.
Yeah, the Tigers did a nice job. Matthew Orr, their leading tackler, got over there to make the stop after a gain of only about 2. And this is a very big 3rd and 5 coming up for Carey now.
See if the Liberty Center defense can bend but not break after the Blue Devils bursted into the red zone here. Don't believe they faced a 3rd down yet on this drive. And it's going to be Vallejo. Wow, look at that cut. Reaching for the end zone, and he's going to be stopped just shy inside of the 1.
Gain of 12, and he is off and running, if you want to pardon the pun, but boy, he is just a load to try and bring down. And I think everybody thought maybe they'd go left, but they come back this time to the right side, and a nice cutback move right there by Vallejo.
Over 1,300 yards now on the season. Looking for touchdown number 31.
Boy, the Tiger defense was right there to hit him. And number 5, Trenton Cruz, the first to get there. And he did a nice job of hitting him right at the waist and driving him straight back.
Excellent pursuit. You're right. Shaking off the block. Able to make the stop there.
And I'd say Cruz is probably giving up almost 80 pounds to Mr. Vallejo, but he did a great job of hitting him in his midsection and driving him straight back.
Rickles behind Vallejo here. And
Quarterback kept
Jordan
it.
Or
no, quarterback kept
Lonsway.
it, and he's in. Second touchdown of the night.
Derek Lonsway tasting Pater again. And the Blue Devils taking the lead for the first time tonight.
1-yard run by the quarterback, Derek Lonsway, who faked the handoff, and he just kind of pushed himself forward after he faked the handoff to Vallejo. Actually kind of got pushed from behind by a couple of defenders who were trying to tackle him, and he had just enough momentum to get himself into the end zone.
Took a nice pop from Colton Cruz, but maintained his balance. Was able to get into the zone, bringing Anthony Bell out for the PAT.
And that touchdown came with just 20 seconds remaining here in the opening quarter, and this is going to be the second penalty of the night against one of these two teams.
A lot of discussion amongst the 3 referees. Make it a 4-pack of Zebras out there, trying to decide who jumped first.
He did. No, he did. Looks like Carey's going to win this argument, maybe.
And so now it makes it an interesting conversation. Do you go for 2 here, Lynn?
Well, that might be a possibility the way they're running the football right now. But it's early in the ball game, too. Do you want to start going for 2 early?
It would put them at the 1.5-yard line. And with as much beef as they have in the backfield, never a bad idea, but it does appear the kicking unit going to stay out on the field, at least for now.
And I believe that's an illegal participation penalty against Liberty Center, so I'm not sure if they had 12 on the field or if someone didn't leave the huddle before the substitute came in. They're now explaining to Coach Moeller on the far side, and I'm sure he doesn't like whatever the explanation is.
And you see everybody on that offensive front looking over to the sideline saying, hey, Coach Merschman, we can move the line of scrimmage and get them in, but they are going to line up for the PAT, try to take a 7-point cushion here.
As I said, it's a little early in the game to start chasing points when you don't really need to.
So the PAT is up and through and allows us an opportunity to take another touchdown timeout. Timeout, presented by KASAI. A lot of love pouring into our fan zone right now. Brought to you, folks, by Burson Bakies Insurance. A lot of love, of course, for the Big Blue, including from Jane, watching from Upper Sandusky. Thomas says number 24 is a beast with the ball. Unbelievable balance and strength. Great description of Mr. Vallejo. Dale, way to get into the end zone. And April says, let's go, Blue Devils. And Derek Lonsway right now having his way. Carey, 120 total yards. LC was 68. All of those coming on that opening drive.
Absolutely. Carey has kind of figured things out, at least on their second defensive try against the Tigers. Nice return. And we do have a late flag coming in. This might be coming back.
Flag lands right at about the 40-yard line. Early indication is that this will be against the Tigers, who even as far back as they set up the huddle, and this would be a little bit extreme, so they are going to march off some penalty yardage. Block in the back, 15 yards is what they're going to have to back up. That's a big penalty.
Yeah, they would have had excellent field position across the 40-yard line. Now they're inside their own 30, back to about the 28 to start this drive.
Could be the final play of the opening quarter. It's been a good one. Tigers scored on their opening drive. Blue Devils answered back-to-back touchdown drives of their own. As Zider showing some speed. Big cutback, and he's ripped down at the 48-yard line. Zane Zider. Boy, this kid's got some burst.
Both of these quarterbacks are not afraid to take off, and Zider shows us his speed going right up the gut to finish off this opening quarter.
And that is going to take us to the end of one. This run right here by Zane. Big first down for the Tigers. They got the ball on the move near midfield right after this break. Second quarter action opens up with the first completion. Owen Long with the catch for the Tigers, breaking into Blue Devil territory, and he's going to pick up a KASAI first down.
Actually, that's the second completion. They did have one to the tight end early on that opening drive, but Zider that time did a nice job of finding his out pattern guy for first down.
Brian Skronsky, Lynn Passett with you on the call here from Bowling Green High School. The winner moves on to the Division VI State Final Four. Two back set. They'll toss it. Matthew Orr swallowed up in the backfield. Stahl hit him first. Got some help from his buddy. Broadman came in to clean it up.
I'll tell you what, they shot the gap, and they did it correctly. They kind of guessed where he was going to be, and a lot of penetration by that Carey defense. It could have been 3 or 4 or 5 guys that made that tackle.
Gage Summit also went on the stop there for Carey. Makes it second down, 9. Tigers from the gun. They'll motion more to the left hip here of Zider. They'll fake it to him, looking to run left side. And how about the penetration by the Devils again?
Yeah, one of the first to get there was number 32, Landon Kemmerly. We've been saying his name a lot tonight. He is really having a nice game on the defensive side of the football.
Stop for a big loss on the play. Drop 3 yards. That's going to bring up a huge third down here.
Carey's done very well on the opening third down last series. Let's see if they can do it again.
Zider from the gun. Rolls right, throwing right. It's tipped at the line of scrimmage. Incomplete over the outstretched arms of Aiden Hammertree.
First incomplete pass of the night for Zider. He's 2 out of 3 now for 24 yards. And Carey's defense for the second straight drive gets it done and will force another punt.
Landon Amstutz.
On the season, he's averaging 33 yards a punt. So if he can just get his average, they'll be pinning Carey rather deep here.
Spilering punt. Taken at the 15-yard line. And a pretty decent return there by Bell.
And a nice stop by Gavin Gherkin that time for the Tigers on defense. So Carey, for the first time tonight, will have some rather poor field position to start this drive, but their last 2 drives have both ended with first quarter touchdowns, a 40-yard run by Lonsway and a 1-yard run by Lonsway.
Putting himself in the driver's seat for the Triple C Electrical and Construction Player of the Game right now. Still a long way to go. 10:25 remaining in the second quarter. D6 Region 22 Championship on the line tonight.
Looks like a running formation.
Vallejo shows some nice soft hands and strong
he just
running.
Spun right out of a couple of tacklers' arms, and finally the last to get there was number 10, Zane Zeider, the quarterback, who came over and made that tackle from his safety position.
He must have had like some dancing lessons when he was a kid, maybe a little bit of ballet in his background. Jordan Vallejo, not your standard big dude, very fleet of foot.
Got 14 yards on that carry. I'll tell you what, he has been a one-man wrecking crew. He has 6 carries, 60 yards already.
They come near side this time. Lance Woods with the carry for the Devils. And they've got another KASAI first down.
3 carries, 20 yards for Lance Rickle tonight, and that's another Blue Devil first down. Unofficially, I have them for 9 first downs already in this first half. Only 3 for Liberty Center, and all 3 of those came on their opening drive.
Just so physical along the offensive front. It's hard not to keep your eyes on the likes of Ferguson. Paul here on the near side. Bell in motion left to right. Vallejo fakes that way. Lonsway works out near midfield. Marked down at the 50.
He faked that handoff to Vallejo, and of course he's going to demand an audience, and about 4 or 5 linemen just automatically flowed that direction, which left a huge hole right up the gut for Lonsway.
Devils looking at a 2nd down and 5. Tiger showing blitz. They'll bring it. 6 guys come. Lonsway to the edge. Cuts back in, and it's a wise decision. He's going to have 9 and another KASAI first down.
I'll tell you what, this running game for Carey right now is almost unstoppable. They are getting the big push. That offensive line is just pushing the defensive line anywhere they want to.
Quick score update. West Jefferson on top of Fort Fry, the number 1 seed. That's a first quarter score. The Rough Riders with a touchdown in the Region 23 final. And we've got a couple of scenarios going down tonight, Lynn. If West Jefferson wins, that will be the opponent of the winner of this game, as there's more space here to the near side. Rickle taking full advantage, marked out inside the 25.
And again, that offensive line just continues to get the push that they need. That's a gain of about 16 for Lance Rickle, and another Carey first down. Their 11th of this first half unofficially.
See E.J. Bowes trying to set the edge there, the tight end. Everyone's a hat on the hat along the offensive front. Having a spectacular performance so far here early.
So far, Vallejo 60 yards, quarterback Lonsway 72, and now Rickle with 32. They're all getting in the act.
The up man takes the give, bursts forward. Think maybe a couple words there at the end of the run for Landon Kemmerly. Another one of the bruisers. 200-pound fullback leading the way for the likes of Vallejo.
I'll tell you what, if you're a defender, you have to look at this offensive unit and the running backs and just think to yourself, I don't want any part of these guys. They are almost like a truck out of control, a dump truck coming at you.
No room to run this time, though. On 2nd down, though, you're probably going to have enough to move the chains, and you saw the score there. Mogador trailing 14-0 to Springfield. So that's the other scenario that's going down tonight, Lynn. If Fort Fry is to beat West Jefferson, then the winner of this game would play the winner of Mogador versus Springfield. Or, as mentioned, if West Jefferson were to win, that would be the opponent for for one of these two teams.
Well, right now, Liberty Center's defense better find out a way to stop this Blue Devil running attack because they are just having their way with them.
Middle linebacker shoots the gap. As the second effort just not there for Lance Woods.
About a 2-yard gain that time for Woods, but Liberty Center did a nice job of containing on that particular play, and for the first time in a long time, they've actually got Carey in a 2nd and long.
Owen Long with a nice open field tackle that time. Devils take the snap here from the 11. They'll toss it. Vallejo, stutter step, spins away, but not from the pack of Tigers, the swarm on him to make the stop.
Well, Colton Cruz came up and made the initial hit, and then he was finished off by Owen Johnson. But the Tiger defense that time kind of guessed, I think, that Vallejo was most likely going to be the ball carrier.
See, Brandy says she wishes she was watching from Florida tonight.
First time tonight we have seen Vallejo actually lose yardage on a carry. So now it's 3rd and 10. They can get a first down at the 3 without scoring.
3 back set we've seen basically all night from the Devils. Lonsway moving the pocket. Got some protection. Got to uncork it to the back of the end zone. Overthrows everybody.
Well, Lonsway had nobody to throw to that time. They only sent 2 guys out in a pattern, and Liberty Center had it well covered. He would have been better off to have just thrown that thing out of the back of the end zone where absolutely nobody could catch it. Instead, he kind of gave Liberty Center a shot at that one.
Bryce Conti, the closest receiver in the area for the Devils, who've got the field goal unit out on to the playing surface. Anthony Bell. Be Carter Smiley to hold. And the 30-yard field goal attempt makes its way through the uprights. (17-7). Blue Devils push their advantage out to double digits. And that's something in small school football that can be huge, Lynn. If you can tack on 3 points instead of going for it on a 4th down and long situation and turning the ball over, especially with 2 defenses that throughout the season have been as good as these two have, points are at a premium.
Absolutely, and Liberty Center, scored so easily on that first drive, they have to be scratching their head thinking, what's kind of gone wrong here? But Carey made some nice defensive adjustments. Liberty Center is a little lost now offensively. They got a nice stand right there. They really needed that because if Carey goes up 21-7 here, that might have been the knockout blow early, even though we're only in the second quarter. But the way that Liberty Center is struggling right now offensively, that could have been a big, big touchdown had Carey gotten it.
Could not agree more when you look at what Carey has been doing to their playoff opponents so far to be able to get here. Only one team has scored on them. That's Crestview last week. Only put up 14 points after back-to-back shutouts of Van Buren and Tenora. Bell with the kick. It's a good one.
I'll tell you what, he's a weapon.
Yeah, right over the head of Amstutz there with that boot.
Bell has got a leg that probably could make a 40, 45-yard field goal from what I'm seeing of his place kicking, and he can kick them into the end zone on the kickoff. And, boy, I'll tell you what, when you know the other team is going to be starting at the 20 because you can put it into the end zone, that's a big weapon to have.
And on the other side, Carly Roth, the kicker last week, game-winning field goal as time expired to knock off the number 1 seed in Archbold, a team that absolutely destroyed Liberty Center during their regular season meeting 41-7. So they got some payback when it mattered in the playoffs. And how about a young lady in Carly Roth, 5'5" senior, coming up clutch as time expired for the win.
Always interesting when you can avenge yourself of a loss early in the season, but sometimes you're so excited over that win that it takes a little bit of gas out of you, and now you have to wonder, are they really mentally and physically prepared for tonight's game against Carey? And a nice opening first down run that time by T.J. Moore of 7.
Second and short on the ground again. They pound it forward. First down picked up by Matthew Orr. So the 1-2 punch showing some pop here on the first 2 plays of this drive.
Yeah, so far TJ Moore has been rather quiet. Only 3 carries for 53 yards, but then they come right back with Orr, and he rattles off some big yardage, and they've got their 4th first down now of the evening.
From the 37 now, Zeider under center brings a man in motion. That's Foster. And the A gaps just totally filled up that time with kids in blue jerseys.
I'll tell you what, Carey can definitely fill the gaps, and one of the ones to get in there was Drew Steen. He did a nice job of shedding his blocker and getting in there and meeting him right at the line of scrimmage. He fell forward for maybe a yard.
Just such a big front for the Blue Devils. Uncommon for a small school like Carey to have this much meat up front. As they fake the run this time up the middle, Zeider takes it to the edge and finds some success. Gets out to the 44-yard line, but it will be 3rd down. Tigers going to need about 3.
He did a nice job of faking that handoff and got a couple of Blue Devils to go right for that handoff, and that opened up the way for him around the left side. If you watch here, Zeider did a nice job on the fake. Just watch how many guys go right along with him on this faked handoff. At least a couple of Blue Devils, and then that opened the gates.
Saw it there on the Houk Hardware replay as the Tigers reset their look offensively. 2 tight ends to the left. They're going to run it that way. TJ Moore with the second effort going to move the sticks as they've got a KASAI first down.
Nice job by the Liberty Center offensive line that time, but also by Moore of just continuing to grind out the yards. Nice gain of about 7 or 8 yards on that carry.
Liberty Center now into Blue Devil territory. Lone receiver to the near side here, Riley Chappa. Zeider looking his way. Now sprints, turns it upfield. Nice tackle. Cooper Brodman was able to bring him down.
I was just kind of thinking to myself, this might be an interesting time to try throwing a pass just to kind of keep this Carey defense on their heels. And they went to the rollout, which gave Zeider that RPO. He could run or pass, and he had the option, and he ended up picking up just shy of 5.
Time dwindling in this first half now. Under 2:40 to go before the break. Liberty Center trying to close down the deficit as they hand it to Moore left side. And he chews up 5 yards. 3rd down and short. Going to be on the way here for the Tigers offense.
And remember, Carey will be getting the second half kickoff, so it's very important right now for Liberty Center to get some points of some kind. Whether it's a field goal, a touchdown would be more pleasing to their head coach, but right now any kind of points would be valuable for the Tigers.
Carey stacking the box, bringing some heat. Moore fighting as he got hit right at the sticks.
He might be just shy from the way they're marking this football, but I'm sure this is going to be 4-down territory for the Tigers regardless.
They're right at the 39. They needed a 38.5. Appears the chain gang going to come out for a measurement.
Yeah, I think he's going to be about a football, length of a football shy, maybe even a football and a half. Based on where things are standing right now. But TJ Moore, I would go right back to the well again. He's got enough size and power and strength that he can get you this length of the football if necessary.
I'm Brian. This is Lynn. D6 Region 22 Championship football tonight. And it's going to be 4th down here for Liberty Center in the offense. As you mentioned, I think they were playing for it to be a 2-down territory here if they had to with the short clock. But against this Blue Devils front, you can never guarantee that you can pick up even a half yard.
And both teams have their full allotment of 3 timeouts. Probably won't come into play for Carey at this juncture, but Liberty Center will most definitely start reaching into the timeout bucket and start using those here as we progress.
Big 4th down. The quarterback submarines. Zyder went low, stretches out, got plenty enough to move the chains.
Yep, he needed about the length of the football, and it looks like he got about 2 yards on that, so or maybe 1.5 yards. So good job. Clock will stop now until the chains get set, and now it's back rolling once again. So I would assume after this play, unless they go out of bounds, they'll probably start using timeouts.
Tigers still have all 3 in their back pocket as Moore's on the left hip, leading the way here. Zyder to the outside. Was able to sidestep Broadman, but then slung down.
And there's timeout number 1 being used by Liberty Center. So far, Zyder, the leading carrier. Well, I take that back. He's not. TJ Moore has 6 carries for 67 yards, so he's right around that 10 yards per carry, and Zyder is next, 9 carries for 46. So they have been the 2 that have really done all the legwork for this Liberty Center offense.
So after the timeout, 2nd down, 6 on the way here for Liberty Center. Trying to cut into this 10-point deficit, as we're just $1.24 away from the Hair-itage House Salon halftime.
Look for Zyder to roll out to the near side again, possibly here.
Straight back, throwing into double coverage. Probably lucky that it fell incomplete.
Looking for his big tight end that time, Evan Conrad, but well over his head. He's 6'4", and he had no chance of pulling that one down. And now it's a 3rd down and long.
Broadman was there on the coverage.
Zyder hit his first 2 passes of the night. Now he's missed his next 2, so he's 2 out of 4 for 24 yards. Saved him a timeout. The clock did stop on that incomplete pass, so they still have 2 timeouts.
Trips look here to the near side. He's going the opposite way.
Looked for the same guy, and again, over his head. So now 4th and about 6.
Interesting situation here for the Tigers. Still a good amount of time on the clock, $1:16.
Yeah, and the way Carey's been getting yardage in chunks, you almost might want to, I'm sure they won't do anything here, but go for it. But you could almost quick kick it and try and pin Carey deep right now.
Devils fans making some noise.
Carey wants a timeout. Looks like head coach Jonathan Merschman didn't like what he saw offensively.
And we'll take a quick timeout to hear from one of our generous sponsors. So a big 4th down coming up here for Liberty Center. $1:16 before the break. And with the yardage here, you could run the football if you got something creative. Definitely want to be probably an RPO type of situation, though. Zyder uncorks one deep, and he pulls the pin too long. Batted down. Great coverage by Conti.
And Conti did something that you wouldn't see most high school players do. He had a chance to get his hand on that football. He just batted it away. He didn't want any part of intercepting that thing because he knew it would come all the way back out over the 35-yard line. So good job by Conti, and the Blue Devil defense holds.
Conti in All-Ohioan a season ago had a big pick six in a playoff game against Sonora just a couple of weeks back.
Had 7 interceptions in the season, so he has been a dynamic defensive back for them.
Tigers showing blitz. They're going to bring it Lon's way into some traffic.
Oop. We've talked about how Carey has hung on to the football all season long, and now they may have just turned it over. And they have.
Derek Lonsway coughs it up, his first lost fumble of the season.
Yeah, he and Rickle and Vallejo have over 350 carries and only 1 fumble. Rickle had 1 coming in.
Wow.
And this is going to be the first one of the season for Lonsway, and it comes at a critical time, setting up Liberty Center at the Carey 35. And 1:03 left.
So basically the line of scrimmage where they just had it for that 4th down. Fresh set now. And Zider sacked on the play. Ball came loose too.
Carey's got it.
Nathan.
Back-to-back fumbles.
Broadman blew it up. And the Blue Devils return the favor.
And a late flag on the far side. This might be an unsportsmanlike conduct call against Liberty Center. We'll wait and see, but that flag definitely came. It's going to be a sideline warning against the Tigers.
Boy, look at how fast the pressure came in. And then the heads-up play by Broadman to scoop it up, too.
Yeah, Zider's a little lackadaisical dropping back here, and right there the pressure was on him before he even knew. He just didn't really take a real aggressive drop back. He kind of acted like he'd have plenty of time. I think they might have been setting up a screen.
Excellent look at it there on the Houk Hardware replay. No indication yet as to what the flag is.
I guess they're saying no fumble, and they're saying Liberty Center is going to retain possession. And
well, maybe they need to see our instant replay that shows it clearly was a fumble. That ball is out.
Apparently they're saying the ground caused the fumble. The ball did come out, but maybe they're saying the ground kind of caused the fumble. Regardless, the clock is inside of 50 seconds now.
So after the sack by Broadman, they'll just keep it on the ground. T.J. Moore spills out to the outside and gets splat in the backfield.
And the clock continues to run, so Liberty Center isn't really going to burn another timeout. All the way back at midfield, they have decided it's 3rd down and almost 21. Let's just get out of Dodge the best that we possibly can here and not further the damages that have already been done.
They do have a pair of timeouts if they were to pick up some significant yardage here. Snap taken with 10 seconds. Hit on the throw, up for grabs,
and it's
brought in. So this is where obviously the timeout is huge. They'll take one.
Well, they're saying incomplete now.
That was Conrad there that almost brought it in.
He's the big 6'4" tight end. It looked like he had brought it down to me, but apparently not.
Great pressure in the face that time of Zider.
Here's another look at it as he timed his jump very well to outleap everybody else.
Yeah, high pointed it just like you're taught.
Yep, right there it hit the ground, so it did come out of his hands. Good call by the officiating crew. Want to give them kudos because they work hard out there. Last play now of the first half. And they hand it off.
And the fullback Matthew Orr with a nice looking run, but it doesn't really mean much. Just padding the stat sheet as that takes us into the half. The Blue Devils on top, 17-7. The Tigers struck first with a big touchdown drive. It's pretty much been all Carey since. Stick around for the Hair-itage House Salon halftime. band performances from each of the marching crews here. And then, of course, we'll break down some halftime stats, get you ready for third quarter action. You're watching live and free high school playoff football exclusively on the OH Report.
Man, what should I listen to on the OH Report today?
Dude, listen to the Friday Night Pigskin. You got highlights and scores from all around the area.
The OH Report podcast has more than just football.
No, listen to the Pigskin. The Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin. Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin.
Why not
Podcast.
both?
Pigskin.
Podcast. Podcast.
Dude, clean your ears out, man.
Bro, there's so much space in here.
For our final performance, we would like to take a moment and thank the Bowling Green Athletic Department for being outstanding hosts this evening, and to our LC Band fans for supporting us all season long. This song topped out at number 3 on the charts, with lead singer, guitarist, and writer John Fogerty singing the lyrics to Willie and the Poor Boys are playing Bring a Nickel, Tap Your Feet. If you can't guess it by now, it's Down on the Corner, a classic from 1969 by CCR. The Marching Tigers are under the direction of Mr. Lynn Leatherman with assistance from Mr. Bryce Trapp. They are led into the field by Drum Major Reese Kessler, Band Captain Cassie Banks with assistance from their section leaders Savannah Hernandez, Elaine Blair, Meredith Bowers, and Logan Jones. Thank you. You have been a wonderful audience. And as always, go Tigers! Ladies and gentlemen, led from the podium by Drum Major Brady Penwell and onto the field by Majorettes Maddie Bowers, Tate Fredericks, Tori Fredericks, and Alex Garner, we proudly present the 2021 Pride of the Carey Blue Devil Marching Band. Pride of Carey Blue Devil Marching Band features music from our various shows throughout the season. Our first selection came from the opening of our TikTok show. This is a song that has its roots in a sea shanty from New Zealand, first made popular in early 2021 by English folk music group The Longest Johns, Scottish singer Nathan Evans, and Scottish pirate metal band Ailstrom. Here is Wellerman. from our superhero show from the beginning of the season. This selection is featured prominently through Marvel's Cinematic Universe and was first introduced in 2012's Avenger movie. Written by composer Alan Silvestri, this theme symbolizes not only the significance of the individual superheroes, but also the coming together of the team. The movie soundtrack was so popular that it charted at number 11 on the top album charts of 2012. Here is The Avengers. Show. Written and performed by Pete Townsend from the rock opera Tommy, this song reached as high as number 15 on the U.S. pop charts in 1969. And we've been asking about as long, how do you think he does it? We still don't know. Here is Pinball Wizard.
what should I listen to on the OH Report today?
Dude, listen to the Friday Night Pigskin. You got highlights and scores from all around the area.
The OH Report podcast has more than just football.
No, listen to the Pigskin. The Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin. Pigskin.
Podcast.
Pigskin.
Why not
Podcast.
both?
Pigskin.
Podcast. Podcast.
Dude, clean your ears out, man.
Bro, there's so much space in here.
Welcome back to the Hair-itage House Salon halftime, where after 2 quarters of play, Carey on top 17-7 over Liberty Center. Brian Skronsky along with Lynn Passett for you guys, and we'll dive into the first half stats. And no surprise here, Lynn, a whole lot of ground game was kind of the name of the game.
Yeah, the Liberty Center did attempt 6 passes in that first half. They connected on 2 for 24 yards, but the rest of the damage was all done by both teams on the ground. TJ Moore leading the way for Liberty Center, 6 carries, 67 yards, and quarterback Zane Zeider had a decent night going until he got sacked there right before halftime, and he finished up with 36 yards rushing. For Carey, it's been kind of a 3-man, 4-man wrecking crew. Jordan Vallejo, 8 carries, 64 yards. Quarterback Derek Lonsway, 6 carries for 72 yards, and Lance Rickle, 4 carries for 32 yards. They've had a couple of other backs carry it 3 or 4 times for about 20 yards. So Carey is just really giving them the 1-2 punch between Vallejo, Rickle, and Lonsway. And for Liberty Center, they're going to have to try and find some kind of a cure to get TJ Moore loose, because he's had his moments. He had that 43-yard run to open up the ball game, but since then he has not had a run for more than 7 yards.
Wow.
So they have done a nice job of containing him after that initial run.
And really no surprise, Blue Devils defense giving up under 50 yards per game on the ground and only 115 per contest passing. Only 164 yards a game is what Carey and this defensive unit allows, Lynn, throughout the season. So not shocked in the least bit to see after that great opening drive the Liberty Center put together that ended with Zane Zeider getting into the end zone. The things have really tightened up. They have stiffened along the offensive front, and it made it tough for them to move the line of scrimmage, because the D-line for Carey, they are ferocious, they are fast, they are big, and they certainly get after you. They'll begin with the football here in the second half. Anthony Bell on the hop, taking it out to about the 27-yard line.
And we talked about it in the pregame, too. Turnovers would be a big key to this ball game, as they are in any contest. And for Carey, they have had no issues fumbling the football all season long. And then, of course, they had the 1 turnover, Lonsway fumbling deep in his own territory. But fortunately for Carey, it did not come back to bite him. But Carey really is playing an exceptional ball game. Liberty Center right now is just trying to find their way back into this thing.
They'll have to try to stop the Devils in this physical offensive attack. Running straight ahead here on first down. And they'll move the line of scrimmage for a pickup of about 4 here with Lance Woods.
We saw them early in the contest working the left side of their offensive line. Here they're moving the ball a little bit more on the right side in the last part of that second quarter and now into the third. But this team definitely can run it left or right. The big thing is Jordan Vallejo. He has just been a man-child out there for the Blue Devil offense.
Really nobody's been able to stop him all year, averaging right around 100 yards per game. The program's single-season touchdown leader. Bottled up here on the second down carry, though, so it'll be third down. Devils will need about 6 if they want to keep the drive alive.
Yeah, defensively, Liberty Center is going to have to do some guessing and say, well, I think here they might be giving it off to Vallejo. Here we might be seeing the quarterback Lonsway keep. They're going to have to start doing some guessing. I think they guessed right there. They held Vallejo to a short yardage gain of about 1, and it's 3rd and 5 now for Carey.
Could be big for the Tigers defense to get off the field with a 3-and-out to open up the second half. As that's Vallejo lined up deep in the backfield. They'll toss it to him, spinning away from some pressure. An unbelievable run. It looked like he was going to be stopped dead in his tracks 2 different times. But, man, when that freight train is coming through, you don't want to be on those tracks, Lynn.
10 carries for 72 yards. You're exactly right. They hit him in the backfield for what would have been a 3 or 4 yard loss. Instead, he just sheds the tackler, and then he spins his way forward. For as big of a guy as he is, at 6'2", 265, he can really make some nice moves.
And running behind a ginormous offensive front, everybody about that size. This time he leads the way, sets the edge. Rickle not going to be able to get there. Tigers swarm this time, and they're going to knock him down. Short loss.
Yeah, one of their leading tacklers for the season, Owen Johnson, was out there to make the tackle for the Tigers. He did a nice job of shedding his initial block on the end and then just simply beat Rickle to his spot and dropped him.
As I dive into our Burson Bakies fan zone, I see got a lot of viewers from outside of the great state of Ohio, watching from Florida, even Egypt. So some international viewership here on the broadcast as maybe
some
a bit
trickery
of trickery
coming. Yeah, and instead he paid for it and fumbled the football.
Lance Rickle.
Boy, he got popped out there on the far side.
Just couldn't get himself to pull the trigger, and it was great coverage downfield, too.
I believe number 5, Trenton Cruz, who we've been calling quite a bit tonight, was the one who really laid the wood to him. And Carey fortunate to hold on to the football.
So it's going to make it a big third down. 17 yards is what's going to be needed. Two receivers set. Lonsway from the gun. Tigers showing blitz. They'll bring it right up the middle. Pretty good protection. It's lobbed out deep in a
what a catch.
Reaching out to pull it in. Bryce Conti, the senior.
Boy, he just laid himself out. Fingertip catch. And what a big play for Carey when they were facing 3rd and 17. The Tigers thought, we've got him. For the first time tonight, we're going to get some decent field position. But Carey pulls it off, and look at this catch by the Blue Devils' Conti.
Oh. Laying out all the way down to the 30-yard line in Tigers territory to open up the second half.
And that was a 37-yard pass.
Looks like we've got movement along the offensive front. Colin Ferguson, the left tackle, moved early. So it'll back up the Devils 5 yards. As I see Craig watching from the Philippines. What's up, Craig? Andrea impressed by the catch.
Here's a look again at that pass play as Lonsway had lots of time and then just really threw a lot of air under it and said, Connie, it's up to you to go chase it and catch it. And boy, what a great fingertip catch that was.
Nice strong hands and a strong run here. Vallejo got back the penalty yardage and more. 15-yard pickup. The Winnebago, so hard to bring down.
He is quickly approaching that 100-yard mark. 11 carries, 87 yards for Jordan Vallejo. He averages 6.8 yards a carry throughout the season and just shy of 100 yards a game. He's already just about to his average of 97.
He's the deep back with the carry here. 3 Tigers converge and make the stop at the 15. 5 more yards for Jordan.
Liberty Center is going to be very tired of seeing number 24 come run. He just
choo-choo
rumbles forward until somebody finally knocks him off track and derails him. Big drive here for Carey and an even bigger drive for this Liberty Center defense. They've got to hold Carey.
They give it to the up man this time. Limited space available. Defensive front. Solid job this time of gobbling up Isaac. So the offensive front, they're changing the line of scrimmage so much that even what looks like a minimal run still churning out 2-3 yards here.
Well, it's probably 4-down territory for Carey, so they're going to have 2 whacks at trying to get about a yard here.
They're going to try Jordan Vallejo, right side, big hole. And he's inside of the 2-yard line, picking up a KASAI, first down.
Another 9 yards for Jordan Vallejo. He is now over 100 yards, 13 carries, 101 yards, and Liberty Center lucky to bring him down that time at about the 1 or 2 yard line.
Note Lance Woods there from the tailback position. Nice block, took out the defensive end, creating the space for Vallejo to get through.